Hello everybody, welcome to the UKSF Dakar Vector Racing League. This is round 5 today. This is round 5 Vector Racing League. And we're heading into a mini championship in the championship. Because for today's format we're gonna head 8 5 laps race. Everyone will be set up by one-shot qualifying. The drivers have agreed to do so. So we will have 8 short qualifying and 8 races of 5 laps. We are ready, the drivers put ready up and go into the first race that will be in Austria. So, here I am, Leox, for Division 2. Today, me and Lewis swapped the division that we usually commentate because it was Lewis' birthday and he needed and he wanted to do Division 1, and I happily accept to do so. And it's never too late to say happy birthday to Lewis. But now it's time to switch the focus to Division 2. So we have 11 drivers, if I saw that correctly. There are some drivers writing in the PS chat. Maybe someone is missing, but just in case they're gonna join in the second race. We had to restart the session because of a problem with the weather. So let's start the first one-shot qualifying. I'm board with a house of reporters going pretty wide in turn 1, losing some places. So let's switch with Mooman, DRS wide open, heading into the first braking zone, braking around 70 meters. A little bit of a lock-up. Let's go on board with him. Let's see what his lap is gonna be. Touching the curb on the outside. Not the best performance. Carrying a lot of speed to turn 4, but that's an invalidation surely, so let's get on board with T-Brand, the McLaren. Looks like a very clean lap for him. Very well done. The McLaren driver which exposed a 1.4.7, 5/10 of a second. Clear of the second place. So Tibran is on pole alongside Hercus Monte, Potre FC and Moti Perez in the second row. It's Mozen Rezai reporters in the third row. Timotox, GRT Jack Mia, who has left the session, I guess, as far as I can remember. And then Mooman and Bullet completing the top 10. And now we're gonna wait to the drivers to twist their setups. You cannot adjust your fuel as always because this is a 5 laps race. Let's see, it's 5 lights and away we go for the first race of the mini championship. Tibern starts on pole. Let's watch from Eric's point of view. Tibern gets a pretty good start. Very tough line for the Aston Martin drivers, who's gonna be alongside with Pojo going into turn 3. Let's see who's gonna come out in P2. Tibran Tibran breaks nicely, and so does Arcus, and Potro maintains P3. Multi Perez P4, 6 seconds behind the two of them. Potro is gonna try to go down inside. Arcus tries to fight around the outside, but does need to give the position on the Red Bull is on a perfect good overtake, considering he doesn't have DRS yet. All the drivers won't have DRS till lap 3. Potro goes a little bit wide in turn 6 now. The Aston Martin is gonna have a go. Does not. He decides to back out of it and try to get a move later on in the race. So Potro has used a lot of energy. You can tell by his red light flashing. There's always a little bit of a problem with the standings on the left hand side, but we know for sure that Tibran is leading this race, followed by Potro, Arcus, Multi Perez with reduced that gap. Then the other Aston Martin on pit mode, Sunrise, Thimathux behind. Then Newman, Jack Mian, who has left the session once more, reporting and full signature, who has already got a penalty. Let's go to Montreal. So Tibran is controlling the race, even if he may want to do, or still is trying to get 1 second window to Potro. He's really pushing so hard. He has already used 60% of his battery power, now 50 with the recovery in turn 1. But he's using a lot of energy to stay in the DRS with Tibran, and the fact from Arcus was just whips around the outside. Potro breaks late and maintains the position, but you can tell the Aston Martin driver is using even more energy because he's already 5%, and it's gonna be so hard for him to try to overtake the Red Bull if Potro gets the DRS on Tibran. But McLaren is fading away from the Red Bull screen. Potro might be outside of the 1 second window. Let's see what the gap is gonna be when they cross the line. After the first year, after the first straight, if Potro will have DRS, and it doesn't seem like, and in fact it doesn't, so Potro is 1.3 seconds behind Tibran, and Multi Perez is actually P3, because while we were waiting to see the gap between the first two drivers, Arcus Monte has dropped down to P6, now fighting with Newman for that place. So Multi Perez is now the main rival to Potro to get P2. Riding PS Chat. And Tibran, while there was the message we have lost Tibran losing the car and is now in P6, incredible stuff. Newman letting him go. Tibran may have some damage. Let's see. His car does have all the end plates, so if he has damage, again, it's a minor one. Tibran is now in P5 and Potro is leading the race. On the last lap, here we go. Potro has 30% energy, Multi Perez only 3, but he does have DRS and he's surely gonna try a launch going into turn 4. Let's see if he gets a good exit. Okay, Bart, so put the mic up at the end of this race. For the time being, sorry if you can hear me that good. So Potro is gonna come first to the checkered flag and win the first race in Austria. Monty Paris taking second place, the Aston Martin on its Mosen Reza in P3, Timotox P4, Mooman in P5 and Tibran with a penalty get P6, Artis Monte in P7. Bullet Heater is soon gonna... Okay, thank you Bark. Bullet Eater in P8 is just crossing the line, and Reporter in the Haas as well is gonna cross the line. And so that's it for the first race in Austria. We have the win of Potro, who was second all the race, then Tibran lost the car in the middle sector and he managed only to finish in P6 after also taking a penalty. So Potro wins the first race. In the podium we have Moti Perez in P2. Got some feedback of the stream. This is my first stream with the from the PC remote. So that's the end of the first race of the 8 that we're gonna see today. Next up we have Bahrain. So for in today's format, points will be Barks should be streaming to YouTube right as well. I don't actually know. Sorry Barks, I have no idea how to I don't actually know, sorry Barks, how to put the stream also on YouTube. Sorry about that. We will discuss it later after this stream. So now we are heading actually into Belgium before Bahrain. So Belgium is our second race, and I need also to remember to put the game on English. So let me write the podium of Austria. I want to take note about them so that we can discuss who managed to get the most podium, who is the most consistent drivers while they're now uploading their setups. Onto the car in Belgium, very speedy track, very long track, the most long one. That F1 has in the calendar. So let's stay on board for this lap with Tibran. Bullet has already retired from the qualifying. So Tibran is leading the pack, just battling with Hercus Monte and Aston Martin. We know that these two drivers will contend the first few places. Also, Potro is retired from the session. I wonder if retired from because of damage or because of validation, but I don't think so. So it's gonna be neck and neck between the McLaren and the Aston Martin, Tubran and Arcus. GRT Jackmia has once more retired. Sorry, left the session. So Tubran leading the way, Arcus is just there. There is no gap, at least I can't see any that may help us to understand what is separating the two of them, but we've just seen Tubran overtaking Arcus, and Tubran has cut the track and so is now not in contention for pole position. So Arcus is gonna be the one who's gonna take pole unless he invalidated his lap. Let's stay on board with Moti Perez in the Ferrari. So Arcus Monte takes pole in the it's not the Aston Martin, it's the Jaguar. So Arcus Monte takes pole in the Jaguar. Alongside him will start reporters in the Maserati. Then it's Mosen Rezai alongside him with Moti Perez, Timotox, Jackmia, Booman, Tubran, Pat, Bullet Eater and Potro. The winner of the first race will start dead last in P11. Now the drivers are adjusting their setups and everybody is perfect to start. 5 lights and away we go for the second race of this mini championship. Arcus gets a very good start and so does his teammate. Then he now gets squeezed by 2 drivers to report and maintain second place, but he's outside of the track. So now it's Muslim Rezai, it's in P2 and has overtaken reporters who is in P3 and is now going to use all his ERS to try and fight back the Jaguar. It's a 1-2 for the Jaguar team right now. Ooh, Timotox has lost the car there. Ooh, and it got collected. Let's see, it was Pat and also the other Audi of Jackmia. If I saw that correct, no, it wasn't Jackmia. Someone got collector. Maybe it was Mooman. But let's stay focused. Oh, and there is also a spin, another spin, and it's Tubran. Tubran was looking so good in shape in the first few laps of the first race in Austria, and he's now lost the car once more, so he's relegated into P10. Potro, amazing start from P11 up to 6th. Let's stay on board with reporters. Who's gonna try a move on Moti Perez? The Maserati tries to go down inside, but Moti covers him off. He's gonna maybe try to do the switchback line when he gets too early on the throttle and lose some time to Moti Perez, avoiding to spin. And Potro does pit. Maybe he does have too much damage. cover, and you can tell Erkus is flying away from his Jaguar teammate, who is outside of the DRS range, even if it's it did get enabled, because we're on lap 3 already. Ooh, and it's Mozart lose the car, as well as the Timotox, and many drivers over in the pit actually. Potro, Pat Booman and Timotox, they all got collected in incident the very first few laps, and in fact I was right, it's lap 2 and not lap 3 how the standings were showing. But the Aston Martin only lost 2 places to Moti Perez and Reporters. The Maserati drivers, starting in P2, lost 2 places and now is gone back into P3. 2 seconds of penalty for its Maserati. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. Is Pat West retired from the race? He was in a very dry position in P10, P11 and decides to retire. Maybe lost the car there after the chicane of the end of the first sector, where many drivers have lost their car. Erkus does go fastest with a 1:45.0. After his incident, he's angry of winning. He was looking so good in Austria to get a podium finishing, and then lost the car. Tibran responding with a 1:44.6, but is too far away to get back to the Jaguar driver. You can't catch him in 3 laps unless you make a very big mistake. Let's switch to Timotox fighting with Mooman. The Peugeot trying to go around the outside of Mooman. Let's see if Timotox managed to get this move done, and he does, around the outside, and he gets also better traction and is already flew away from Mooman, who is now in P9. Oh, and there has been an incident. It was the sorry, not the it was the Maserati of Reporters, who has been dropped down to P5, lost 2 places from the Jaguar of It's Maserati and from Tibran, who is in the BMW. So Reporters needs to, let's see if he got damage from that accident going to Pouan. Maybe accelerated too much. Does have both end plates, so it's fine. At least it's a minor damage. Sadly for him, he won't have time to get back into P3 or P2 where it started. Let's stay on board with one who is administrating this race quite nicely. He's not taking any risk. Maybe he wants to create bigger gaps as possible. Sorry, to Moti Perez, so that he can rejoin the track if he make a mistake and stay still in P1, even if with a 4-second lead everything looks easily in the end of the Jaguar driver. And he's also gaining so much on Moti Perez. This Jaguar looks so on fire today, or at least here in Spa-Francorchamps. First and third, but it's Maserati as a 3-second, maybe a 2-second time penalty. Let's see. Exactly, 2-second time penalty. So he's gonna lose the position on Tibran. Let's stay on board with the BMW driver, which is now in the gap. Just need to navigate the bus stop chicane. Ooh, and it does a little bit of a mistake. But it's still in the 2 seconds gap, and he's actually gaining. Is 1.2 seconds behind the Jaguar driver. Ooh, and it spun. It's Mozart spun going into Radeon, and he's gonna lose the place on Tiburon. Let's see reporters coming fast. Are Radeon overtaking him? Timotek's 2 second time penalty for cutting the track. Let's see the Aston Martin has recovered. He didn't get damage. Ercus 2 second time penalty. He was pushing maybe too hard. So Potro will not gain the position on the Aston Martin driver, Jaguar driver, unless he does another mistake. He's surely not have hot hours, and also he's surely frustrated. He has lost the podium, was in his hand at the start of lap 5. Timotok has done a mistake because Jack Miller, his teammate, has now gone into P9, and you can tell also by the yellow flag there is on the minimap on the left hand side, right hand side. So let's stay on board with Arcus Monte, who is gonna cross the line and win the second race of this mini championship. Next up, we have Motoparix, who's waving to the checkered flag, taking another podium. Another time it's his second. T-Brown crossing the line to get to P3. A good recover for the BMW driver, who is now come back into the fight for the championship. Motoparix is surely the one leading after 2 consecutive podiums. Arcus gets the win, and T-Brown the last step on the podium. Now we are waiting for the other drivers to cross the line. Bullet Inter in P7 with a Porsche, then Mooman in P8, and finally we have the 2 Peugeot of Jackman and Timotox. You can read the frustration of its Mozart, the Jaguar driver, after the spun that cost him the podium. T-Brown is the driver of the day. So let's recap the final standing of this second race. And it's loading, and so it's Arcus Monte winning the race. The podium is completed by Motoparix and T-Brown, and completing the top 10 we have reporters. It's Mazurasai, Potro, Bulletiter, Mooman, Jackmere, Timotox, completing the top 10, and last but not least, Pat was retired from the race after the very first few laps, after he went out of the pit. And now we're gonna head into the third race of this mini championship. Points will be given after the mini championship is over. This was a test of this format. Most likely we're gonna get back to the old short qualifying and 100% race in the future, but it's also fun to have some different format going on. So now we have Bahrain. I inverted Belgium and Bahrain. I don't think I have a way to change the language from here. I really hope so, but I can't do much. In fact, I can't. So multi-parrot, it's flashing the radio button. We're gonna head into Bahrain, the third race, just now. Let's see what we're gonna have going into this very hard track where you cannot allow yourself to run into some curbs going full gas, because otherwise you will get the car rotate everywhere. Let's say the drivers, they're going to start qualifying soon. Someone doesn't have a setup, probably was or forgotten to ready up. And let's see this short qualifying with let's stay on board with the reporters with his point of view going wide already into turn 1, and is now in P8. He needs to have a very good second and third sector, but he completely missed the braking point and also invalidated his lap and spun around. So let's switch to Moti Perez, and there is a three-way fight for the pole position. Marcus Monte, Moti Perez and Tibran. They are really close together. And there is another retirement, it's reporters after Bullet Ether. So Moti Perez is leading the way. We are heading into the end of the second sector here in Bahrain. Very nicely done from him, carrying nice speed. Let's see, Arcus is just behind. Does get a very good line to the final turn, but it gets too much on the curb, on the exit curb, and in fact he lost 2 places. Moti Perez gets pole position, followed by Tibran and then Arcus Monte. So the winner of last race, the dominate Spa-Francorchamps, will start third, while Moti Perez and Tibran will start on the front row. Moti Perez has gone on the podium in every race since the start of this mini championship, both P2s. Tibran needs a clean race to get back into the fight with him, and we will see also how Arcus is gonna get from us, what start is gonna get from the line. Soon we are gonna head to this third race. So heading into round 3 and the third race of 5 laps. And it's 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go with... Okay, got some issues, sorry, with the controller. So it's Moti Perez who has lost the place on Arcus Monte, who has got an incredible start up to P1. From P3, Moti Perez has lost his pole position. Spa Tibran also got overtaken by the Jaguar drivers. Multiverse goes defensive to T-Burns, try to go around the outside the BMW drivers when he spun and Multiverse got collected, and now he's in the wall. T-Burn gets a 2-second time penalty for that collision, and Potro picked up the scraps from that battle and is now in P2. Will he have the pace to fight with the Jaguar drivers, who has gone wide in this turn and is surely gonna lose the momentum that he had, and in fact he lost almost 7/10 of a second. Potro goes fastest in the middle sector. T-Burn doesn't have a penalty, but Pat in P4 is too far away at the moment. He needs to clean 1 second. And there is some swearing in the PS chat. Hopefully everybody calm down. So Arcus goes fastest. Thematox is not very happy with the behavior of its Muzorazai. So Potro does seem to have the pace to fight with Arcus. And so does T-Burn, but he has a 2-second time penalty. Potro goes really wide, but he just came back in the circuit in time. And there's also a big fight going on for P5 among reporters Bullet, Mooman and Moti Perez. You can tell T-Burn is closing in on Potro. The BMW drivers locks up a bit, going to the very hard cordon. In turn 10, that was. Potro is pushing as hard as possible, but Arcus does seem to have more pace than him. Hopefully they're gonna provide us a good show with 2 laps done, 3 to go. Thematox 2-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And now he's getting back some time, the Lamborghini driver. Arcus Moto 128.7 goes fastest overall, but Potro got fastest last sector. We saw that by the minimap. And Moti Pirates, let's switch on board with him because it's so close to Mooman. Let's see if now he's gonna have an opportunity with DRS wide open for him. He's gonna try to make a move, but it's too far away. Ooh, Mooman goes wide, and now he slips down inside. Berg hard position on this track, but he gets the position on him. So Mooman needs to back out and lose a place to Moti Paris, when he's waving from the exit of the airplane. And now Moti Paris is willing to catch reporters in P5. He's just about in the 1 second window and is now outside of it. Reporters gets another very good line, but so does Moti. The driver who was in pole position has been dropped down to P6, and that's increased the fight for this mini championship. Arcus looks like he will have another win in the pocket after this third race. He had an incident going Austria in the very middle of the race when Moti Paris, running out of energy, gets overtaken back by Mooman, and he completely missed his braking point. He gets the position back on Mooman, but that was unsportsman behavior from Moti Paris, and Mooman lost the place. But that was not very good show that Moti Paris gave us. Let's see what is gonna happen for the fight for the P5. Reporters goes completely wide, missing his braking point. Let's see if he's gonna rejoin the track ahead. He backs out to let Moti Paris go, so Reporter is now in P6. but the the Maserati drivers much more energy, 40% more than his opponent. Let's also have a look at the gap between Arcus and Potro, which always 1.1 second. There's a yellow flag sector 23 and it's Mosrozai. The Jaguar drivers is so frustrated, I think, from the last race when Motorpass does not have a very good exit and Israel light is flashing, so it's below 10% and it's gonna be an easy pass for the Maserati. And also Tibran has gone ahead of Potro, who has lost the car going into turn 2, and so Tibran is now ahead, but he has a 2-second time penalty and Potro is just about inside of this gap and is gonna push and try to stay within 2 seconds and get second place on the BMW. And also Reporters has lost the car going to the back straight and he has lost P6, 7 and is now relegated to P8. Potro has gained a ton of time on Tibran and he will easily get into P2, while Arcus Monte has got a very good start from P3 up to P1 and he's gonna finish the race first. He's gonna cross the line, get first to the checkered flag, and he's gonna win the third race of this mini championship, his second win, and you can see him happy waving to the checkered flag. Tibran finished second on track, but for the penalty gets behind Potro. Patpat finishing 4, only 9/10 of a second behind Tibran, so very good effort from the Audi drivers. Motiparas finishing 5, Bullet Eater in P6, Uman in P7, it's Muzurozai in P8, Reporters and Timotox completing the top 10. So let me try to change language from, if I can do that from here. Maybe this one. I don't think I can do this from here. I'll have a look after this race. Driver of the day is Patpat. So it's first place, one more from Hercus in the Jaguar, followed by Potro and Tibran in P3. So let's see after this graphic where what's the standings. So Arcus leading the way, 6 points ahead of Potro. Motiparas relegated into P3 with 46 points, not a very good race from him. Tibran with 40 points, but with still 5 races to go. Then it's Mozarasign, Muman, Bulletito, Reporters, Timotox and Patpat, which had a very good race here in Bahrain, getting P4. And he's recovering after not the best first 2 races. So now we're heading into Brazil, then we're gonna have Canada. So Brazil, every driver is ready. We're waiting only for Women. So let's see if Arcus is gonna get the win for the third race in a row, or if Potro or Multipares are going to get the P1, provisional P1 in the standings. So we're gonna have a one-shot quali around Sao Paulo. Not Sao Paulo, Interlagos. They wanted to substitute Interlagos with Sao Paulo, but in the end they decided not to do so. I want to stay on board with Pat after his very good result in the last race. So the Audi drivers is having a very good first sector in P2. Arcus leading the way once more, but now it's Pat into P1, now into provisional P2. Very close call between all drivers. And he's driving really nicely. Likely didn't get invalidation, a little bit of a lock up there. He probably doesn't know where is he at the moment, but he's surely fighting for pole. Arcus got an invalidation, surely has lost the car. So let's see the end of this qualifying with Pat losing the car just about in the last corner. Otherwise it would have been a top 3 finishing, but it's gonna be Multipares who's gonna take pole with a 1.8.3, followed by Timber 6/10 of a second behind him with a 1.89. Then we have It's Mozorozai in the Jaguar, and then Pat in the Audi. Completing the top 10, we have Muman, Timotox, Potro, Arcus Monte, Bullet Eater, and Reporters. Arcus Monte got invalidated, and also crucially Potro did not have a very good qualifying, and the two contenders of the championship at the moment are going to start from the 4th row. And Multipares and Tibran, the other two contenders who are a little bit off with points, are going to start on the front row, and they need to collaborate if they want to reduce that gap from Arcus Monte. So we will see what is gonna happen going to turn 1 of lap 1 here in Interlagos. This is the 4th race. Exactly, this is the 4th race. This is gonna necrotate the middle of this mini championship. So let's see. And 2 lights, 4 light, 5 light, and away we go with Paris was a nice start. So does Timran. Is gonna go try to go down inside, and there's a little bit of a bang wheel. Multipares gets the position on him. It's Mozorozai is using all his energy. Tibran's try to have a look down inside, but there is no space. Multipares covers it. Tibran's try to go around the outside. Multipares goes inside, and the BMW whips around the outside of Tibran. Multipares goes defensive, not to lose the place on its Mozorozai. Timotox has gone into P4, Pat lost some places, Arcus Monte from P8 up to 6th, Potro also has gained 2 places. So it's Timbrun, Multipares, it's Mozorozai, Timotox, Potro, Arcus Monte, Pat, Reporters, Bullet Eater and Woman. Ooh, and there was a spin of Timotox, you can tell by what we have seen from the Jaguar point of view that he got hit by Timotox, who missed his braking point and is now into P8. This only improves the position of Potro and Ercus, and they both gain 3 places, and it's gonna be a very good fight to get to the first 2 drivers, Timber and Motiparents, who are fighting for the win. Potro is using all his energy to get to the Jaguar drivers, but he doesn't have DRS yet. 3-second time penalty for Potro. This is crucial from the podium place. He's trying to go around the outside, but he doesn't have the traction to do so. But 2-second time penalty. When he dives up, down inside, and Ercus is now gonna try to get his teammate also, and in fact he does let him go because he is fighting for the championship. Now we have the 4 drivers contending the championship in the very first 4 places, but in the switched order, the one who is 4th is now leading the way, and the one is first is now into P4. Tibran 190 is fastest overall. Perez is just outside of the DRS range. Maybe he got it anyway, and he doesn't. He doesn't have DRS, so he's 1.3 seconds behind. Perez doesn't look like he has the pace to get close to Tibran, even if he got a very good qualifying, 6/10 of a second better than the BMW drivers, who are reported as retired from the race. Pat has been relegated to P9. They came together, and Timotox is not very happy because he got collected as well. So Motiparents 1.6 seconds behind Tibran, is still has a very good gap to Potro, and Ercus is getting closer and closer to the Lamborghini. Also Potro has a 2-second time penalty, so maybe Ercus will not engage the fight to the Lamborghini driver. We will see what his decision will be. He also has 2% of ERS. As a result, 2 seconds time penalty for excellent track limit, but I think it's too far away. Is gonna have DRS right now because he's within 6/10 of a second. He's using all his energy, but he doesn't have much. DRS wide open. Let's see. Potro does have a little bit of energy, but he's not using wisely. Ercus goes faster than 8.9. The only man to go down the 1.9. Timotox trash talking there in the chat, and Ercus whips down inside. Potro trying to go to get back to the Jaguar driver, and he's trying to go down inside there of the Jaguar driver. Let's see what is gonna happen. Ercus hold the position, hold speed 3. And also Potro has a 2-second time penalty, so he decides to give up. Motiparents is really close to Tibran, but Tibran is gonna cross the line and win the 4th race his third podium in a row for Tigran, but this is the first when Monty Paris gets another podium, the third one, and Ercos Monte gets to P3 after very bad qualifying with that invalidation. So it's Tigran to Monty to Ercos, who's gonna still be the one leading. And it's awarded of the driver of the day, Hopefully everybody get calmed down, because this is not how we want drivers to race. They need to be happy to race wheel to wheel. An accident may happen, and in fact someone is excusing himself, but it's not, you can trash talk someone because of some accident. It happens in this game. So Arcus is still leading the way in P1 of this mini championship, but the gap has been reduced. Tibran has gone into P2. Monty Paris has been overtaken by Tibran, but has overtaken Potro, who has been relegated into P4. But the top 2, 3 and 4, it's divided by only 2 points, and then a little bit over there is Arcus with 73 points. Then we have it's Mozaruzai, Moomin, Bullet Eater, Reporters, Pat and Timotox. So this is the end of the first half of this mini championship, and we're gonna head into Canada. Next step we will have Monza, then Hungary, and finally Mexico. So why don't we switch? And we're already into Canada. Barks is having a laugh in the chat. Maybe not some drivers. We're taking a bit too seriously the behavior of some other drivers. I want to remind you, this is still a game. Yeah, Barks, we are going to have World War III very soon. I would like to have also Italy involved. So Hercus is stuck. And so does Oscar. So probably the lobby backed out. So we need to it's back. So we need to restart the lobby. But yeah, we need to look back at the stream and the standings from there if we can manage to get on with this lobby. And Timotox is really going for some very creative insults. It doesn't look right, Barks. And you're Maldonado, so Pat Pat is responding nicely. Or is it spinning on me? What does it mean, Barks? Sorry. I know spinning is... Yeah, we're watching also your message, Timodox. So the lobby still doesn't want to go on, so maybe we will need to restart. Yeah, we would like to know who is the one. Wait, maybe it's me, but I must pay. Many drivers are left in leaving the session. Potro, Mooman, but it's not one of those. I don't think I am because I'm a spectator, but Paul the teaser has also left the session. Mark's read in the chat if you want me to leave the session if needed. Yeah, we need to take a photo of the championship is in the streaming, so we will not lose. I remember that Ercus at 73 points, then Tibran 65, Montipero 64, and Potro 63. Also, it's Mazaruzai with 39, and then I don't remember it. Yeah, so we're gonna have to come back to the main menu. In the meantime, I'm gonna try to switch language from Italian to English. Of course, not in the talking way, but in game. So, option.
Und ein Red Bull vervollständigt die Startaufstellung.
Vamos con la clasificación de constructores.
A Mercedes chegou ao topo da tabela.
Fuentes se coloca en la pole.
Sag mir, Stefan, wie konnten Sie diesen Sieg erringen?
Grandissima prestazione della McLaren oggi.
Et si nous parlions de Ferrari? Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix.
Tu es deuxième, ne lâche rien, tu peux retrouver la première place.
We're not expecting any changes to the weather today. Dry throughout.
So we finally have English, but it doesn't look like it's changing much. Maybe need to change something else. Yeah, because nothing has changed in the settings. If anyone knows where I can change my language, I think it's too late. So we're not in Bahrain. We'll now have Canada, Monza, Hungary, and then Mexico. So at the moment, in the very first half of this mini championship, hi, it's Mazaruzai. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name. I'm Leox. We had a swap with Lewis. Lewis has commentated the Division 1 mini championship today, and I'm now commentating only for today, I think, the Division 2. Nice to see you too. You're doing a great job. You have, as far as I can remember, you have 39 points. You are 20 points away from the top 4 drivers. So you need very strong performance here in Canada. Hope for the best for you. So we're waiting only for Pat, maybe. I don't think there's anyone else missing. Oh, the Power and Bars are spectators, so someone else is missing surely. After all this trash talking has joined back. Really brave. We will wait for Pat to join back. In the meantime, I'll get a glass of water. So I'll come back very soon. Here I am back, so in the meantime we can maybe have a look of the standings of Division 2, why not? If my PC managed to get me there. I have to say it's really cool to stream with OBS, but my PC is so slow, I can't get to standings easily, so let's switch to Discord. But it's not switching actually, so we are still watching the remote play. And why you're not watching Discord? Very good question. I need to... Okay, finally. So these are the standings of Division 2. We have Moti Perez first with 29 points, followed by T-Bron 27, Spectre with 19, Potro with 17. There is a bunch of drivers with 17 points. Arcus, Timotox and Potro. Then we have It's More Reside 15, Reporters 10, Jackmia 9, Manugary 8, Pat with 6, Bullet Eater with 5, and completely in the field, Lightning, Godzilla, Nell, Pandacan, Tug, Antoine and CFF with 0 points, but we need to switch back to the Formula 1 game because we are heading into the 5th qualifying. We're heading into Canada, which is a very hard track. It's very easy to invalidate, so we will see what is gonna happen. And for this qualifying I want to stay on board with Timotox, who has chosen a wrong team, I guess, and he's drifting all the way and he's already lost the car going to turn 1, so let's watch Tournament. He's driving really nicely, very calmly. The best thing here is to try and get the lap in, not invalidated. AlphaTauri, I guess, because there is no other name. So yeah, the AlphaTauri of Mooman is now in P5, while there is a very big fight for pole position. Tibran, Arcus and Multiparis are all fighting for the top spot. We will see what is gonna happen. I want to stay on board with Mooman. Yes, just lost the place on Multiparis. Nicely done, the last chicane, and he's up to Purse, so is Tibran, who has gone fastest overall. In the front row we have Pat, followed by Multiparis, Mooman, it's Mozorzai, Potro, Timodox and Arcus, crucially got his lap invalidated on the last chicane, or as Alonso will say, the last chicane. I hope someone gets the the quote. So it's Tibran on pole by only 0.3 of a second on Pat, who is having a really good second half after a very not slow but not a perfect start in the first two races. He's now having a very good results. Hello, do you have the current points in the mini championship? I can only remember the first 5 places. I remember that Arcus had 73 points, Tibran 65, Multiparis 64, 63 for Potro FC, and 39 for its Mozorzai. David, tell Tracks to watch the stream, so we'll have many viewers. Barks, do you need the points to be wrote? If you can, then okay. Thank you, Arcus. Thank you so much. Yes, post the points in the chat. And it's 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights, and away we go. Let's see what is gonna. It's start of Tibran. Pat is slipping away, so Tibran gets a very good start. Ooh, and Multiparis completely misses braking point and commit the racing of many drivers. Reporter, Timodox, Potro. They all came together. Bullet Eater got retired. Ooh, and Multiparis shot his car into the wall after a very bad behaving, and so does Timodox. We have already 3 retirements. And Timodox 1 P. So Tibran is leading away 2.5 seconds clear of Pat, then is Mooman in P3. And Timodox is back causing World War III very soon. And Arcus is already into P4, 0.3 of a second behind Mooman, and is trying to get best position. I don't think he has the pace to get to Tibran in 4 laps, but he might have the pace to get into P2. Potro, 3-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but he's already last, so that won't count much. Ooh, Arcus try to go down inside here in the chicane, but it's a really hard move. Uses against Israel, I guess Aaron in the chat. Yeah. We need to regroup all these comments and then make a book, sell it, and cause the World War III. And is Arcus going down inside of Mooman? Mooman is gonna try to go around the outside. It's the Jaguar of the championship leader who gets into P3. And it's now Arcus is now in the DRS range of Pat, but we are still on lap 2, so there is no DRS enabled yet. Tibran, fastest lap overall, 1:11.6. Let's see Arcus. He doesn't go fastest. but he surely have the pace on Pat, who goes wide into turn 3. And try to go down inside here in the first of the 3 chicane on this track, but it's a really complex move. And try to go down inside here on the end of the first sector. Pat all around the outside, but now there is a DRS straight. The Audi is not going defensive, it's taking the racing line. Arcus decides to back out of it because he doesn't think he will have the possibility to get 7.5 seconds on Tibran in a matter of 2 laps, so he wants a clean overtake. But goes really defensive. Arcus is using the DRS and also the energy recovery system, but it doesn't seem to get close enough. Tibran fastest of road. Pat is holding Arcus with a very strong pace in the 3rd sector. But 2-second time penalty exceeding track limits. That's the commentator jinx. Sorry, Pat. So Arcus switch the energy on, is gonna try to make a fantastic move around the outside here. Pat goes defensive and dives down inside to keep P2 even if he does have the penalty. It's Mosen Rizai with 2-second time penalty into P5. Also we can discount Newman for the battle for P2 because he's just 1 second behind Arcus. Pat goes defensive. Arcus doesn't have the energy to fight him. He's gonna try to go around the outside, but hold the line, hold P2. Amazing effort for the Audi drivers. And runs it, almost running into the bad Jaguar. Amazing save from him. Outbraked himself, and he's using a bit too energy in my opinion. He should try to maximize his energy and then use it in the back straight, in the main straight, but now it's really close between the Jaguar and the Audi. But still maintain P2, and Arcus doesn't manage to have a very clean exit of the 7th chicane on the track. Here we go into the hairpin. It's 4/10 separating the two of them. Now Arcus does have more energy, but only has 15%, and he goes defensive. Arcus try to go around the outside. Tibran in the meantime wins the race, and Pat is gonna hold to get P2 on track, but with a penalty it's Arcus who is gonna get the 2nd spot on the podium. Newman gets the P3, and Pat for only 1/10 of a second it's relegated to P4. Yeah, Barks, indeed, Pat is on fire. I couldn't believe he had only 6 points in the Drivers' Championship. It's really stepping up in these mini championship races. So Tibran has won the race fairly easily. Then Arcus, Newman, Pat, it's Rosar, Reporters, Potro, and then the retired drivers who were Timotox, Moti Perez, and Newman gets a podium. Yeah, P3 because of Pat penalty. Barks, does AlphaTauri as another name, or is... So the top 10 finishing for this race is Tiburon, leading to Arcus, Mooman, Patpat, its Muzuruzai, Reporters, Potro, Timatox, Motiparas and Bullet Eater, with the last three who retired from the race. And that's the end of the 5th race. So Tiburon gets the 2nd win in a row. Arcus is the one with most podiums so far, 4 podiums. While Tiburon, also Tiburon got 4 podiums. 4 consecutive podiums as well. We have team as Lambo B. Okay, Barks. I have to say this really confused me, but I like how you decided to change name. Also, Barks, if you want to commentate with me, I'll like it. If you want, we can start a party, if you want to commentate. So now we are heading into Monza. Sixth round of this mini championship. The battle is on between Tiburon and Arcus. Dave, your voice is nice, man. My name is not Dave. Maybe you're not talking about me. Thank you, Barks, for the sendings. Don't worry, Mosen. My name is Leox. So let's stay on board with Tiburon for this qualifying lap. He's now in P5. Now P7. Very good first chicane, and in fact he's jumped up to win mode, but Patpat is in provisionally P1. What an amazing launch he had in the first sector. I have to switch, sorry, because Patpat is really making me feel so good, so hyped at the moment, and in fact, as I say that, he gets the lap invalidated. And now Arcus is the one leading, with Potro and Tiburon fighting for pole position. I've just chased very hard with Patpat. Hopefully he's not watching the stream, otherwise I will not be happy. Arcus getting a really good Oscar chicane, but Potro gets an even better one, and it's now leading the way. The two are really close together. And so does Motiparas and Tiburon. The 4-way battle for this mini championship is on the Parabolica, and it's gonna be Potro who's gonna cross the line first and get pole position on the front row of Arcus, and then we have Tiburon and Motiparas. So Barks has just started the part with me. Let's so it's Potro to Arcus, Tiburon, Motiparas, it's Muzuruzai, Timatox, Mooman, Patpat, Reporters, and completing the top 10 we have Bullet Eater. So a warm welcome to Barks. Are you here, Barks? Let's see. Oh, maybe I can't hear him. Are you talking, Barks? Can't hear him. Oh, because I have my controller attached to the PC. So so I know you're laughing because I can hear you in my in my headphones. Yeah, this might be a problem, but it's gonna be lights out very soon, and it's lights out, and away we go. Let's see, start of Potron and Arcus. When this was a spin and its monstrous eye was spun at the start. Let's see the fight between Potron and Arcus. Ooh, and there was really big dummies in turn 1. Now Potro is leading the way. Arcus in P2. Barks has retired from the session, or maybe he was not spectating. Timotox going into P3, but completely cutting across the track. Then we have Pat in P4, Moti Paris in P5. Ooh, and Timotoxin is in the gravel and is now race over for Pat and most likely also for Moti Paris, who got collected in the incidents. And so for Timotox, amazing stuff there, not in the very best sense. And Tubern has been dropped down to P4. David, in the chat, please tell us if we are both talking and commentating the race, or if Barks is not commenting, because I can't hear him. So Arcus goes fastest, even if it's behind Potro. Let's see how much seconds Potro has. He has a 3-second time penalty. So Arcus is within the gap. Can't hear Leo. Barks, that's because my controller it's not connected to the PL station, but it's connected to the PC, because I'm streaming from OBS in the PC. When Tibrans try to go down inside of La Roja chicane. Reporters maintain P3 out of Tibran. When it goes a little bit wider, so Tibran is gonna have a chance into the Scar chicane. Let's see. But Reporters goes defensive and he needs the backs out of it. Tibran is carrying a lot more pace. Police Barks live. I don't know how to get you here in the commentation room. Timotox is trash talking once more, even if he was the one making mistake and collecting the other drivers off. Reporters goes wide. Tibrans try to get a switchback line. He's using the overtake button, he's using the slipstream, but he doesn't have the pace to overtake Reporters. Timotox 3-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Very bad La Roja chicane for Reporters, and Tibrans may have damage for that incident. Reporters goes a little bit wide and Tibran goes too much on the inside. So Tibran does have the DRS. We will see what is gonna happen in the very main straight, because Reporter doesn't have much energy. Let's see. So Tibran has 40%, while reporters only have 7. Potro fastest overall with 121.8. He needs other 7/10 of a second to stretch a gap to Arcus that will allow him to finish P1 on track, and also on the standings as after penalty. Reporters waves a bit, then goes to the racing line. Tibran whoops down inside of the Maserati. Let me check. Yeah, on the Maserati. So Tibran in the BMW gets back into P2. Reporters doesn't have the energy to stick around with Tibran, and soon he's gonna lose the gap with him, and he loses also the car going to La Roja. Mooman gets past him into P4. So let's stay on board with Arcus, because at the moment he's not in a net P1, because he's on a 3.0 second gap when he's not having the best Ascari, and in fact he has lost 0.3 of a second to Potro, that he has a 3-second time penalty. And I think that will be enough for Potro. If he maintains this pace, then he's surely gonna win this race. So let's see, still 3.3 seconds separating the two of them. Nothing is happening here in Monza, because there are so many retirements off the grid almost. As retired, we cannot consider Bart since he shouldn't race unless he wants to have fun and completely miss the braking. He's only going to turn 1 lap 1. Get things a little bit spicier. So Potro not having the best of Ascari chicane. In fact, he lost the car. He was under pressure because Arcus was reducing the gap, and now Arcus is gonna easily win the race with Potro losing the car once more and completely destroy his suspension into the wall. And Tibran is gonna get P2, and Mooman, if he doesn't make a mistake, we will get a back-to-back podium. But it's Arcus who is gonna... Oh no! Oh no, it's Arcus, it's Arcus. He destroys his car, but after the racing, the checkered flag. So Tibran gets P2 and Mooman with a back-to-back podium. Then Potro is P4, but he's retired, so it's gonna be Bullet Eater to get P4 and Timotox to get P5. If we manage to overtake Potro in time. At the start, Timotox had a really bad La Roja chicane and collected. Ooh, Timotox spun as well here in the Ascari and collected Pat. And the very start, the Jaguar of its Maserati lost the car. Yeah, Bullet Heater coming on for P4. So it's Arcus to Tibran to Mooman. So the same drivers that went on to the podium in Canada are now on the podium in Monza. Barks, if you want to say anything, because I can hear that you are hearing the stream. Barks, if you want to say anything, because I can hear that you are hearing the stream from my headphones.
Can you hear me, mate?
I can. You may hear me late, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay, that's working. So, can I commentate with you now?
You hear me like 10-second delayed,
But I can't. Yeah, it's all out of time because I can't hear you on this side. It's the stream's about 3 seconds behind, so I don't think it's gonna work. But good job, man. It's some good racing. I
Yep.
appreciate you doing the stream.
Don't worry. So, two races left with Hungary and Mexico.
It's very dramatic, very enjoyable, a lot of fun. The chat's funny, the racing's close.
Yeah. I don't know whether to focus on the racing
What more
or
do
the
we want,
chats.
mate? Enjoy. I will stop speaking now because I think it's messing everything up. I'll let you get back in the flow of it. Thanks, bud.
Thank you, Barks. Thank you. Thank you for passing by.
Messing everything up. I'll let you get back in the flow of it. Thank you, Barks. Thank you. Thank you for passing by.
So we will now head into Hungary. Barks, I just want to remind you that you are still on Mercedes, so you need to put 12 seconds to go, and okay, now you're a spectator as well. Timotox is still trash talking in the chat after taking out 2 drivers. Battery ran out on his scooter. Barks, please mute yourself in the party because we all hear double times the stream. Thank you. So now we're heading into Hungary. Penultimate race. And Barks completely left me alone. I remember that. When you left me alone. So for this qualifying, I'll get on board with Moti Perez. Bullet Eater, as always, retired from the West Shot qualifying. I don't know why. So Moti Perez in P5 at the moment after the very first corner. Very tight line in the second corner. Arcus is the one who is in provisional pole at the moment, followed by Potro. Ooh, and something is changing really quickly. That in Timotox is the one now fighting for pole position, and we have just gone over the first sector, and we're in the second sector, very technical part with long sweeping corners. It's a 1-2 for Jaguar at the moment, and as I said, Tibran puts himself between the two. Moti Perez has not doesn't have any validation, but it's still in P7, so it's not having the best of its moment in Hungary. And Tibran, I think, is gonna be the one who's gonna take pole on this penultimate race, and it's not. Is messed on it. He is by only 29 milliseconds on Arcus Motor. What a close qualifying. And Barks wrote in the chat for us the standings. So it's Arcus leading 6 points on Tibran. Then we have Potro with 77, Modi with 64, Mosen with 49. So it's gonna be a really close fight between Treman, Tibran and Arcus, that are also our front row, followed by its Mosen, Rezai, Potro, Timotox, Motiparis, Pat-Pat, Bullet Eater and Reporters. There is one driver missing. We were 10 before. So the session will start soon. Yeah, David, it was Muma, thank you. After his back-to-back podium in Canada and Monza, he decided he had enough because it was too easy. And it's 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light, and away we go with Tibran having a nice start off the line to Ercus, very open field going to turn 1, and there is a contact between Tibran and Ercus. It's Mozarazai actually, and it's Tibran leading the way to Timotox, then Ercus, then Motiparis, Pat-Pat, Bullet Eater, Reported. It's Mozarazai and Potro, who is last at the moment after a very bad start. So let's see Tibran. Let's get on board with him. So Timotox is in the way, separating the 2 championship leaders. Ooh, and Timotox almost spinning out in the chicane of the second sector chicane. Now in the technical part of the circuit, the long sweeping corners. And that's the end of the second sector. Up to the third sector. Ercus having a look down inside, but this is not a way you will get the move done without spinning your car out of the track. It takes a very shorter, tighter line than Timotox. Tibran fastest overall with a 122.1. So still there is no DRS enabled till lap 3. So it's gonna be really hard for Ercus to overtake Timotox. That seems he has the pace to keep up with Tibran, since he's still in 1 second window. Ooh, and almost Ercus spinning out of the race, and he's lost like 0.5 of a second to Timotox. The dirtier is such a thing on this game, and you can tell also by Timotox, who is shaking before and after all these corners. Hungary is really hard of a track, and it's a spin. It's Mozarazai and Ercus get fastest middle sector overall, and he is closing in once more on the Peugeot. But he's not close enough. Timotox goes fastest with a 117.6, faster even than Tibran, and he's actually the one closer in the top 3. So Timotox is going for the win. It's going to fight Tibran. He's 0.6 of a second behind the BMW, and it's not afraid of this very tricky corner. It's gone a little bit too wide, so Ercus is now gonna reduce that gap. He was losing some time, and after that mistake, he's now came back in the 0.6 window. And Timotox and lost the car there, but he managed to stay front incredibly. Ercus didn't manage to take advantage of that. The one who really took advantage is Tibran, who is now 2.7 seconds in front of these two. Peugeot, yeah. So Timodox is really helping T-Brand, because if the BMW manage to win this race, then we're gonna have a shootout for the win in the very last race in Mexico. And you can tell Arcus is not happy about it. He wants to get rid of this Peugeot as soon as possible. And he's trying to make a move, he won't be able to do this move going to this chicane. It's very tricky chicane. It's really hard to overtake here in general. Even if we are in the main straight, and we have seen that from Arcus' point of view since the start of this 5-lap race. Let's see if he's gonna have a better occasion right now, because Timodox has a really bad exit of 13. And now he's only 0.3 of a second behind. Timodox has a red light flashing, so he has used all his energy, and Arcus is going for the dive down inside, but that's not really fair. So Timodox, so I think Arcus should let the Peugeot by. Ooh, and Timodox is really not happy about it. You can tell by his completely brake missing. So Arcus managed to get P2 in a very clumsy way, and Timodox will not be happy. And we'll see his messages once more at the end of this race. Looks like a foul there. Which means Arcus will score 0 for this race. Incredibly so. Unless T-Brand and lose points as well. So unless T-Brand scores 0 points in the next race, he will be the champion of this mini championship of this round 5 of the UK Aces Dachau Bets Racing League. Go have a look of UK Aces Dachau, our main and only sponsor. But everything needs to be decided yet, because the stewards will have a look into every accident that will be signaled by the drivers, as we're waiting from the Jaguar of its Moulson Rezai to cross the line. So our top 3 for this race is T-Brand. I'll mark anyway Arcus, even if he won't get this podium, and then Timodox in P3, the first race of this 5 laps mini championship. Completing the rest of the field, we have Modi Perez, Pat, Potro, Bullet Eater, Reporters, and it's Moserozai. So these are the points at the moment if you need them, marks. And now we're heading to the last race in Mexico. I think I have a way to commentate together, Barks. If you want to try a shot, I think we should be both in Discord in the same voice chat to make it work. Also because we need to find a solution to commentate together with me and Lewis. A little spoiler, we might commentate together Monaco, which will be a very long race with full quality and 100% next round for both leagues. But now we need to focus on the last race, last 5 laps race. Sorry, Barca is Arcus leading Tibran of 5 points if he was 6 points ahead, and Tibran got the win. Am I missing something? Maybe I'm missing the... Yeah, in fact, Tibran is winning at the moment. I don't know about Matt. Yeah, exactly. I think Tibran is 1 or 2 points in front of Arcus going into Mexico. It depends on the fastest lap, if there is a point awarded for that. For this final lap, I want to stay on board with Arcus in the Jaguar. Let's see what is gonna be his first chicane. Very important here is not to invalidate your lap. Arcus P2 exactly, but is now the one leading the pack, fighting with Reporters and Timotox. Reporters has been dropped down because of exceeding track limit, so his lap got invalidated surely. And it's a three-way fight between Arcus, Multipowers and Tibran for the pole position. And Tibran got his lap invalidated, crucially, so Arcus is now in virtually pole position. Oh, but he has gone wide. Luckily for him, he didn't get invalidation. But he's not having the best third sector and he's been dropped down to P2. Very bad last corner, but in the end he managed to get in the front row, so it's gonna be pole position for Multipowers, alongside him Arcus, then his teammate on the Jaguar, it's Maser Razai, and in the second row alongside him we will have Potro. Oh, it's Mozen, just snapped the second row on his teammate. So in fourth we have Potro, and completely in the field Timotox, Patpat, Tibran, Bullet Eater and Reporters. And Barks, I still need to have dinner and I'm dying right now, if you are interested, and I have anything in the fridge. So let's wait from all the drivers to load. It's really fun to have some spectator in the chat to interact with. It makes it really fun, yeah. 12:06 there. Oh shit. Here is 10 PM and all I have it's nothing. I have nothing, but it's 3 light, 4 light, 5 light, and away we go for this last race of this mini championship. It's a really good start from its Mazda in the Jaguar. Let's stay on board with the television cam, and let's see who's gonna lead going to turn 1. It looks like Moti Paris, but they've crashed, they've gone into each other, Motorizai and Moti Paris. So it's Motorizai first, Timotox following, Arcus in P3, Potro in P4 having a look. The final look from T-Brown, who's gonna try to move down inside, but is too far away, and they are leaving the first sector with the Jaguar leading the pack. Behind him Timotox, then his teammate that crucially is now ahead in the driver championship, but he has gone wide and he lost the position on Potro, and crucially to T-Brown, and is now in P5, but just behind him Arcus destroying the polyester blocks. So Arcus surely got a warning, and he can't afford another 1 or 2, otherwise he will get a very important penalty. And you can tell the third sector it's not his sector, but T-Brown has been slowed down by Potro and Timotox, but it's Motorizai leading the the race at the moment. We're on lap 2. So let's see what is gonna happen at the end of the straight. Nothing. Ooh, T-Brown, I fancy a look there, man. It's Motorizai who has lost the car, and Arcus is glued to the back of the BMW. T-Brown tried a move on Potro going to turn 1, but didn't manage to close the gap enough to get the position on him on the Lamborghini. So it's Timotox leading the way, and it's a 2-second time penalty for reporters for exceeding track limits, but he's P6. But he's also really close to Arcus. We need to have a look on the Audi when it's go down inside. Arcus managed to get still in P4. Pat goes in the inside line and is shot into the wall. Pat is in the wall after colliding with Arcus, and it's Timotox who goes fastest. There is no time to breath in this race. T-Brown is closing in on Potro, who is closing in as well on Timotox. Moti Paris goes fastest, 1:18.7. Oh, and a very good line, very good exit from T-Brown, and is now going to wheel with Potro. He's gonna try to make a move down inside. He's backing out because he knows that if he stay ahead of Arcus, he's surely gonna win the mini championship. Potro goes really wide on this double right-hander, and now T-Brown is gonna try to make a move around the outside. What a brave move from the BMW driver, and T-Brown goes up to P2, but Potro is gonna try to make a move back on him. They will also have DRS on the next straight, and Potro crucially gets a 2-second time penalty, and Reporters crucially has overtaken Arcus in the back straight. So T-Brown looks like the winner at the moment, and it on Timotox. And T-Brown is now leading the race from Timotox. Clean overtake from the BMW drivers, but not very good exit from Timotox, as now Potro might have a look, but it's too far away. Arcus managed to get back into P4, but it's 5.2 seconds away, and the win of his mini championship looks over. Ooh, Timotox sliding the double right-hander as Potro did the last laps, and now the Lamborghini zoops down inside. It's Motorizai to the pit after leading the first lap. Is 8 in the pit. We're on lap 4, so we're starting soon the last lap of this mini championship. Tibran is leading the way on Potro, who has a 2-second time penalty, so unless Tibran makes a really bad mistake, he's surely gonna win this round 5 with a mini championship. Already some GG in the chat for Tibran, but there is still the commentator curse that might going on for this last lap. Maybe I'm not strong enough. Potro is closing in on Tibran. 0.4 of a second wider line for the Lamborghini. Well done, Tibran from Barks. He's really trying everything. We are really trying everything for the show. Timotox 2 seconds pound. Bullet and reporters swapping places there. Is Potro gonna have a look down inside here? He's surely closing in. Nothing can stop Tibran from winning. There are also the fireworks. There are for Tibran because he's gonna cross the line first and win the race in Mexico, and most importantly win the mini championship, and he's gonna take 4 points for round 5. Potro and Timotox completing the podium. P4 for Arcus was looking, in my opinion, the favorite at the start of this mini championship, but in the end the consistency paid off. Thank you, Leo. You're welcome, Barks. It's always a pleasure. You're lacking your hand for food, man. Indeed. Can you order me a pizza? From England? It's gonna... Oh no, from Dubai. Like 5 hours of flight for a pizza. That's fair. We're waiting for Mosen to cross the line, and that's the end of our mini championship for round 5. Tibran is now the winner. Pizza crap from UK. I know, David. Maybe there are some good pizzerias. That's it for me, and that's it for this week for UKAssets.com Battle Racing League. We will head out next week, next Sunday, with Monaco, where the format will be a full quali plus 100% race, so back to standard, with the introduction of a full quali. And Timotox is happy about his podium. And just a quick fun fact, Tibran is the drivers who got more podium, and Timotox and Mooman, they both got only 2 podiums, but they got it back to back. So good night, you all. We're gonna see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.